It's almost over. Just one more game, and we won't have to think about this season anymore. Welcome to the season finale for the Tennessee Titans as we take on the top team in the NFL, the Buffalo Bills. It's a rematch of last year's AFC Championship game. Only we're not going to be able to attend this year due to our last place record in the NFL. As a matter of fact, I don't think anybody wants us to win this game with the number one pick on the line. If we lose, it's ours. If we win, who knows? The main thing I want to see today is can we get Sal Sexton and Devian Bynes to 1,000 yards for those receiving milestones, as Adam Kane makes one more start for the Tennessee Titans. And let's get this game underway. Welcome to Week 18. It's the Bills up first today, the number one team in the NFL this year, and they'll take over at the 25-yard line. If we are to be competing for the AFC crown with this team once again, we've got to find a quarterback that can go toe-to-toe with Josh Allen. 36 touchdowns, 4 interceptions this season, his best. Opening with a handoff up the middle, and this is Tony Pollard for a gain of 3. The box is stacked on third down, and Buffalo keeps it on the ground. It's Pollard straight ahead, and he lost the football. And Tennessee will take over after an opening drive turnover. It's Brandon Smith who knocked this out after being blocked to the ground initially, not giving up on the play. He's trying to show what he can do. And so is Adam Kane, making his 4th straight start. Back to pass, lost the football, but gets it back. Looks like Trevor Penning wound up with it. That's a loss of 13. Not exactly how we want to start this offensively. Kane will fire complete to Treylon Burks on second down. It's a gain of 15. 40-yard line now of Buffalo. 3rd and 8. Kane throws and connects with Kyle Phillips for a first down. I do think Phillips has shown a lot of good things down the stretch leading into the offseason. At the 29, Derrick Henry gets downhill, and he picks up a gain of 7. It's an 1,100-yard year for Derrick Henry. The fake on second down. Kane lobs this one downfield, and it's knocked away from Dominic Brooks. And the rookie Chris Wimbley, the center, is going to leave the game. Trey Hopkins is in, 3rd down, and Henry does not get it. The Bills' stout front stops him short, and Tennessee leaves the offense out there. 4th and 1. Fake for Kane. Puts it up. Way too far. Incomplete for Sal Sexton, and they've turned it over on downs. Still scoreless. Buffalo takes over at their own 21. And Allen is pressured, chased to his left, puts it up, and it's tipped away by John Barrett, who had great coverage on Eubanks, the tight end. 3rd down now. Allen, feeling pressure, gets it out there, and it's intercepted by Barrett. Making a 2nd straight play on the football and collecting interception number 2 on the season. And Tennessee is right back in field goal range now. Ball at the 16. Here's Adam Kane on second down. Pressured by Miller. Ball is loose and recovered by Buffalo. Another turnover. And the Bills will have it near midfield. Vaughn strip sack Miller. Strikes again. And Buffalo 1st and 10. Fake for Josh Allen. Eyes downfield. Chucks this one deep. Incomplete for John Ross. Allen wanted the big touchdown, couldn't connect. 3rd down, pressured again, he dumps it out to Tony Pollard, shakes out Farley, and he's bumped out of bounds, shy of the marker. And Buffalo's going to keep their offense out there. They'll go for it on 4th and 1. Fake for Allen, wide open, and caught for the first by Eric Ebron. Gain of 20. Very different results in these two teams attempting a 4th and 1 play action. And now Pollard, met by Martin Irving and helped out by Caleb Farley. Nice stop. 4:37 to go in the first quarter. On target for Stephon Diggs. He hauls it in for his first grab. First down. 6 yards out now. Allen to the air, has time, settles underneath for Eubanks, and that gets them a little closer. 3rd and short. Compact now, it's Pollard, stopped by Martin Irving. But they give him the first down yardage. And Tennessee would like to take a second look at this play. I didn't think he quite got there. The spot looked generous. But it stands. It costs us a timeout. From the 1, in for the touchdown is Tony Pollard. Buffalo is on the board first after a pretty exciting first quarter. Still 2:27 to go in it, and starting 1st and 10 with 3 receivers. It's Rashad Polite on the carry, angling outside, he gets 8. We'll see how much Derrick Henry plays today. Not a whole lot of reason to get him too many carries in this one, and he does get the first down here. So far, the first string offense out there for Tennessee, and here comes Miller again. Trevor Penning, not going to slow him down. 2nd sack for Von Miller, backing up the Titans. And here's Miller again hitting Kane, and that ball flutters incomplete. He beat Elton Jenkins that time. It's 3rd and 20. Miller returns. It's up for grabs, and complete to Kyle Phillips. What a drive and what a first quarter Von Miller is having. Buffalo takes over. Ball at their own 30. Here's Allen on first down. He wants the tight end, Eubanks, and that should be good for a first. Spreading out the defense now. Pollard playing receiver. Allen's got time. Coming back for it. Nice catch. And there's John Ross, who's had a big season for Buffalo this year. A big breakout for him at last. And now Pollard right up the middle. In the secondary. Still fighting his way down to the 10. 25 yards for Tony Pollard. Such a great fit for this Bills offense. He gets it again and is stuffed and tackled by Martin Irving. 3rd down. Keeping it on the ground. Pollard is in for the touchdown. It's his 2nd. And the Bills go up 14-0 here in Week 18. Well, if you want to see this team tank for the number 1 pick, you're loving this so far. Adam Kane off the fake. He's heaving this downfield, and it's caught by Bynes inside the 30. Got to throw a couple deep balls his way. Got behind Taron Johnson. And Tennessee's in scoring range again. Miller returns. Pass is caught by Sexton. Gain of 6. You've got to do something here about Von Miller. Or maybe this is all part of the plan. Nice run on 3rd down. That's some tough running for Rashad Polite to keep this drive moving. Kane will throw on 2nd down. What was that? That was terrible. We'll try it now on 3rd down. Can still convert inside the 5. To the end zone. Caught by Bynes, and that's a touchdown. Devian Bynes closing the season very strong, showing that he can be a great receiver to lead this offense into the future. You got to feel great about the last 5 games or so he's played. 14-7. Allen goes deep, and Diggs goes up and brings it down. There was absolutely no room there, and he still finds a way. One of the best contested catch receivers in the NFL. There's a quick one to Ben Eubanks. Bills already inside the 20. 2 minutes to play now in the first half. Allen goes empty. Throwing for the end zone, right there for Ross, and he can't make the catch. That was literally the perfect pass. They'll try it again. Allen connects, down inside the 5 after a crushing hit by Martin Irving. And now just 2 yards away. Allen will take this one and finds Eric Ebron for the touchdown. And Buffalo goes up 21-7. Just a little time now for Kane and the Titans in the first half. And Kane hits Sexton underneath. Sprints toward the sideline and gets out into Buffalo territory. Still 1 timeout remaining for Tennessee. Here's the pressure, and Kane lost it. Still loose and recovered by Buffalo. Another lost fumble for this Titans offense. 32 seconds now for Josh Allen. 3rd and 4. Looks outside, and it's incomplete. Tight coverage from Christian Fulton. Tennessee gets the ball back quick, but only 20 seconds on the clock now. Kane throws across the middle, and there is Bynes by himself. And they still have a long way to go. No timeouts, 15 seconds. Kane outside, finds Phillips, and he's spun out of bounds with 10 seconds left. They're making the most out of their time. Kane to the sideline again, caught by Phillips. Out of bounds with 5 seconds to go, and they set up Matt Gay for a 49-yard try. And it's a fake! Gino! No, he couldn't get the pass off, and time expires. They went for the fake field goal, and they would have had it if he had a split second to let that ball go. But that is the first half. Tennessee trails 21-7. Everyone preparing for their off-season vacations were just about there. We have some news with the Texans playing at the same time as us. They lead the Minnesota Vikings 21-10, and we hope that score holds. We're all Texans fans right now in the final week. 2 quarters left. Adam Kane comes out, start of the third quarter right now. And they'll run this. Outside, it's Rashad Polite. I believe Derrick Henry's day will be done. 3rd and 4 for Kane. Throws it quick and hooks up with Brooks. That's enough for a first down. Ball at their own 38, and here comes Bynes. He receives the handoff, jets outside, and it's a good pickup gain of 9. Cannot wait to see what Bynes is able to do a year from now. Fake on 2nd down, and Kane's throwing his way again in the end zone, and there is a flag down. He draws the defensive pass interference on Taron Johnson. They'll mark it down at the 4-yard line, and Tennessee on 1st down hands it to Phillips this time, and he can't get much room there. 3 yards out, try it again. Polite inside, shut down. 3rd and goal. They're 2 yards away. Box is stacked. Kane to the air. Throwing an interception at the goal line. And Buffalo will take over. Keanu Neal was right there. Literally the entire time. Buffalo in their own end zone here. And Allen's going to throw them out of it. Connecting with Stephon Diggs. 3 tight ends in now for Buffalo, and they'll run on 1st down. Pollard outside, trying to stay behind his blockers, but there was way more room if he used that speed to get to the edge. High snap, they go to Pollard, and he gets through Irving, fighting through Cook. He gets the 1st down. Bills trying to add on to this lead. 3rd and 8, pressure is sent. Allen flustered, and down he goes. He is sacked by Brandon Smith. He's been racking up tackles and making some plays for us here late in the season. Tennessee takes over. Here's Kane to his left. My God, that was awful. It's almost over. 1/4 left. Kane 2nd down, steps up in the pocket, lost the football, and the Bills have recovered. And that's Matt Milano on the recovery. Another lost fumble for Adam Kane. Short field for Buffalo. And Allen sends it downfield, but underthrew it, and it's picked off by Brian Cook. A turnover fest here in Week 18. Allen had 4 interceptions entering today. He'll have at least 6 by the time it's done. Wildcat 1st down. Here's Rashad Polite. Works his way outside, tries to cut it back, and gains 5. Kane back under center on 2nd down, scanning the field, and hitting Burks across the middle. 1st down, gain of 15 yards. Kane still, I think, has been very good for our late season production. Lays this one into Devian Bynes. That's good for a 1st down. Sean McDermott not exactly happy with what he's seeing here. Pressured again and caught by Burks. Outrunning Tre'Davious White and getting 13 more. Tennessee is very much in this game. Despite their many turnovers already, Polite cuts left, has space. 1 man to beat, and the safety Micah Hyde slows him down. But inside the 10, it becomes goal to go. Kane to the air on first down, puts this up, and he's intercepted in the end zone. And White's going to take it out and gets stopped shy of the 10. Tried throwing this up for Sexton. It wasn't the right decision. On top of that, it was a terrible pass. Still a 14-point game, and Allen finds Eubanks by himself. He's across the 50, and we're on to the fourth quarter. Advantage, Buffalo. First down, caught. And there's John Ross on the slant. Bills go empty now, 1st and 10. Allen puts it up, downfield for Pollard, and he makes the catch behind Fulton. It's a touchdown. Right down the field. And the Bills take a 28-7 lead. That creates a bit more comfort for them, as Kane will bring the offense back out here in the fourth quarter. And he floats it out for Sal Sexton, turns it upfield, and gets 20 on the catch and run. Polite to the right of Kane on second down. Time to throw, wants Sexton, and it's incomplete. Covered by Milano very well. To third down, pressure in his face. Kane trying to escape it, and he cannot. He is sacked by Ed Oliver, and it brings up fourth down. They've got to go forward at this stage. Kane backs up, floats downfield, 2-4 for Sal Sexton, who would have had the yardage. And the ball returns to Allen and the Bills. From the 31, Allen to his left. He got drilled by Kyron Johnson, and I think that should be a fumble. Bills add 3, and we have a quarterback change here in Tennessee. Geno Smith is in the game. He's picked off by Tre'Davious White, and the Bills will be right back inside the 25 of Tennessee. Second straight INT going to Trey White. And the Bills stopped Brandon Smith, helping slow down the running game at least. They're going to go for it. Up by 24. Here's Allen. And he's intercepted by Christian Fulton. He took that one away and brings it out to the 35-yard line where he's taken out of bounds. It's an interception for the Tennessee defense. And they'll have Geno Smith take the field again. Smith completes to Sexton, who's getting all the targets here, it seems, late. 6:20 left to go in the ball game. Pressure gets through, and down goes Geno. He never had a chance. Backing up again, under 6 minutes left. Geno outside. Nice stretch by Sexton. He makes the grab, and that is a first down. They'll go to Polite now. Good block from Church. And Rashad Polite continues his productive day rushing. At the Bill 33, Geno's got time. Down the middle for Sexton. And well defended by Micah Hyde. Third down now for Smith. Time in the pocket. Looks downfield. He's picked. Another interception. It's Kyer Elam. Tennessee giving the ball away like they're chasing some kind of high score late in the season. And it's going to be a run for Pollard as we're about done here in Season 3 of the Titans franchise. This is not what I was hoping for when this season began. We've got some work to do to make sure we have nothing like this ever again. It's done. That is the final play of the season, and the Tennessee Titans have clinched the #1 pick in the NFL drafts. 4-13. A worse record than we had in year 1 of this franchise, where we lost like the first 11 games. We have fallen very far, but now we can finally begin the process of building this team back up. We're going to recap Season 3 here in this video as well, and talk about our off-season plans briefly. But Josh Allen ends up throwing 3 picks in this game. We had 4 total. Tony Pollard, $132 on the ground today. And receiving, we see that Devian Bynes got enough yardage to reach 1,000 yards, but Sal Sexton came up short. Adam Kane missed him on plays that could have clinched it. 22 tackles for Martin Irving. He and Brandon Smith, for the most part, played an okay game against the ground, I felt. And that's going to bring us into the playoffs. The Bills go 15-2 for the best record in the NFL, while we go 4-13, undisputed worst team in the league this year. And here are all the playoff teams this season, with a surprise here at the bottom. What are the Colts doing here? They were 5-8 a short while ago, won their last 4, while the Jaguars lost their last 4. And the Jaguars, after an 8-4 start, have no postseason. Here are the results of the wild card round, including the Colts losing to the Miami Dolphins 49-42. High scoring game, but Shelton Cunningham and the Miami Dolphins are moving on to the second round after a phenomenal year for the rookie quarterback. The Colts, though, rebounding like this, show you that they're not going to be pushovers going into next year, and they manage to turn things around. But one of the biggest results for us will be the Atlanta Falcons losing to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, I talked about turning their first round pick into a conditional pick and making it a second round pick if they did not go to the Super Bowl. I do plan on giving them their first round pick back, and I know that's not going to be popular with everybody, but I felt like making that pick conditional for an older safety would be fair. If that move helps them become a Super Bowl contender for real, then, make it a first, but otherwise, I'll give them the one back and take their 2. I'll try to keep the recap a little bit more brief this time, but of course, it was not a great year for our passing game. We threw a combined 30 interceptions. We were sacked 66 times as well, throwing 22 total passing touchdowns. Unfortunately, this year just did not work out the way we needed it to for Malik Willis. I felt really promising about him being our franchise quarterback going forward, but the regression this year is obviously going to put us in a different direction. That's 3 years of play where he did not go above normal development and only has had one really good season. Now, that year was really nice. I felt like that was a year that showed he could be the franchise guy we need. But I think now we miss a chance. I think with any young player, especially with no high development, you've got to make the most of their first 3 years. That's when their development, they're going to have a chance to get further with their XP. And now Willis is at the point where it takes $10K just to get him up one more time, and only has now 1 year left on his contract. So we will be looking for a new quarterback this year. But I think we have to also consider, what are we doing at running back? Because this was a disappointing year for Derrick Henry. Our offensive line was very shaky at times, and he never had a run longer than 23 yards, which is shocking because Derrick Henry is a big play running back. His touchdowns were way down. His yards per carry were way down. He still broke a lot of tackles, still had yards after contact. I do feel like a lot of this could be on the O-line, but he's older. He is regressing, and maybe the ratings haven't gone down significantly, but this is a sign of decline for one of the best running backs in the NFL. And in the offseason, maybe even at the end of this episode, we could see a little bit of regression. Rashad Polite showed some good things, but I don't really see him as a Derrick Henry replacement. He was an older rookie with normal dev, and I don't think that he has the skill set to run between the tackles full time. I see him as a receiving back and a guy I want to give, maybe 3 to 7 carries a game. Behind those two, Hassan Haskins, I don't think has shown enough at this point. I think we'll be moving on from him and Chestnut in the offseason. Haskins is a backup caliber running back. He's fine. And I think that we'll either be releasing him in the offseason or he will be challenged by somebody else in the preseason next year. For the receiving game, I think we're in good hands with these receivers. Devian Bynes, Sal Sexton, nearly had 1,000 each. And I think down the stretch, we got to really see, them have their signature games. And Devian Bynes, despite not having superstar development, he feels like he does. He plays very dynamically, a big difference from, anybody else we've had out there outside of Calvin Ridley. Sal Sexton, I think that I have kind of misused throughout the series, and in the stream I did where he was getting all those vertical shots and he had those 100-yard games, you got to see that is how you use a vertical tight end. I think that I've just got to get more consistent actually delivering on that. And then you have Treylon Burks, another first rounder. I think he's solid, but he hasn't bumped up his dev. Route running hasn't gone up very quickly. Release is still low, and he hasn't been this great yards after catch guy. I think he's just a very solid complementary receiver, but not somebody that I plan on picking up the 5th-year option on. And this offseason is going to be the year we make that decision. I will be looking for another receiver, maybe not to immediately push him out of the offense. Well, there's a chance if we take one early enough, but for sure, I don't see Burks' future with us being much more than a year. I did like what I saw from Kyle Phillips down the stretch, and he kind of replaced Kendrick Bourne just to see if he could handle that exact role. Now, he hasn't seen significant development in his first 3 years either, so I will be finding competition for him. I'd love another receiver like Kendrick Bourne. I just want a younger version of this skill set because Bourne is going to be declining even further, hitting 30 years old in the offseason. But this is a role I really want to emphasize. I felt like the O-line improved over the course of the year, but never really found its comfort zone in terms of run blocking, which is really concerning when the offense is meant to run through Derrick Henry. I made the trade for Trevor Penning because I wanted it to benefit Derrick Henry, and it was kind of a last-ditch effort to try and save our season, which it didn't do, and it wasn't really like an all-in move to save the year, but I was hoping that bringing in Penning would boost the running game, and it really didn't. I still think he's a good run blocker, but as a whole, we still didn't perform well there, I feel, with Henry, and he gives up a lot of sacks. So if we have a pocket passer as our next quarterback and we move on from Derrick Henry at some point, then you have to think about how Trevor Penning really fits into this team. Defensively, we moved on from so many starters, there isn't a ton to talk about here. I felt like Terrell Riddick took a step back this year, and I'm hopeful that next season he can produce a bit more consistently, and I'd really like to see what he can do if we move this defense into a 4-3 scheme, which I think will be our next move. I think we have the defensive line talent to put together a very good 4-3 front, and I plan on making that change in the offseason. For our second leader in sacks, Rashawn Gary, big free agent addition for us, but unfortunately, I felt like he was very disappointing this year. Ended up not finishing the year healthy, and I just expect a lot more in terms of pass rush. And that's not just from him, but also Jeffrey Simmons, who only had 2.5 sacks, and I feel like most of that came in just one game. So he's another guy that we could look to trade, depending on how the offseason goes and how maybe early next season plays out. I do really like our secondary, though, at least our top 2 corners, Caleb Farley and Christian Fulton, who both continue to get better and are just terrific corners. John Barrett will not be starting next year. He just was not good enough, but he did get a ton of experience this year, and he'll be a backup going forward, but I don't see him as anything more. Brian Cook broke out with star development, so there is a chance that he is our starter next year, but I don't think that's going to be a given. I will be looking for safeties in the offseason, and we'll see if he's still one of our 2 best after we finish this out. When we traded away our linebackers and our safeties, we were very weak in the middle of the field, and I really want to make an effort to upgrade at linebacker in the offseason, but I don't think Monty Rice is going to be returning. He's normal development, he's played 4 years, isn't motivated to come back here. We're probably going to move on to the next guy. Brandon Smith will likely be competing for a spot along with Martin Irving, but I know we have to either take somebody early or look for a free agent replacement, and hopefully we're able to sort that out because it is so hard to play with this linebacker talent. If you call zone, we just get torn up over the middle. If we call man, we're not going to cover any tight ends in the entire league. Shelton Cunningham is not only the best rookie in the NFL, he won the league MVP as a rookie quarterback, being drafted into a phenomenal situation. And I'm hoping we can draft a quarterback that also benefits from this situation with all this receiving talent and an improving offensive line. Nathaniel Hackett is Coach of the Year for the Denver Broncos, and let's go through these awards. I don't think that we really have anybody in the running except for Caleb Farley. But Cunningham, I mean, that is such an impressive rookie year, about as impressive as you can get. We don't have anybody near the top for Rookie of the Year. Shelton Cunningham, best quarterback. JT, best running back. Keenan Allen, Quentin Nelson. And finally, when we get to secondary, we got Caleb Farley right there with his 7 picks. Top DB in the NFL. And then Matt Gay, our kicker. Meanwhile, in the NFC, here are the same awards. Nick Bosa for the Falcons gets Defensive Player of the Year. Ben Noel has Offensive Rookie of the Year taken care of for Philadelphia. And Danny Clayton on defense. Kyler Murray, best quarterback, though. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Zach Martin, Nick Bosa, Preston Smith, and Dante Jackson. Miles Jeffrey led the league in passing yards this year in just his second season with Detroit. But Shelton Cunningham, 46 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, a year 1 MVP, and Rookie of the Year. And his season isn't over yet. I will sim through the playoffs, and we'll see how far he goes. Dak Prescott, 38 touchdowns, same as Josh Allen. We have a lot of really good young quarterbacks, though, in this franchise, and that makes things really fun. Has a chance for a lot more teams, I think, to pop up and really break out. Christian McCaffrey, 2,000 yards on the ground. Jonathan Taylor, and then a steep drop-off by 500 yards, roughly. But this is certainly not what I expected for Derrick Henry this season. Just 1,112 yards, 4 yards per carry. Receiving, Amon-Ra St. Brown is number 1 in yards with 147 catches. That's number 1. I wonder where that is in terms of single season catches. And then 18 touchdowns. Amon-Ra St. Brown is your wide receiver triple crown winner. Stephon Diggs is behind him. Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper, Jamison Williams. And then you got John Ross, who had 100 catches, 1,200 yards, 8 touchdowns, a massive season for him. Probably will not be normal development after that. And then for defensive standouts, we got CJ Mosley returning to his top form he had with the Ravens. Josh Allen leads the AFC in sacks, and Caleb Farley in interceptions. Terrell Burgess had 6, Jalen Johnson had 6, and we helped him get there. In the NFC, Dante Jackson had 8. Impressive. 23.5 sacks for Nick Bosa. That is a record-breaking mark. Miles Jeffrey recorded the 3rd most passing yards ever in an NFL season. Justin Herbert was behind him. Christian McCaffrey records just the 9th all-time 2,000-yard rushing season. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 5th highest receiving yard mark of all time. And for touchdowns, he's not quite at Moss's level. And catches, just 2 behind Michael Thomas's record-setting mark. All right, Aaron Donald had already broken the sack record and now made it 25. So Bosa is still 3rd place, tied for 2nd, actually. But in this series now, we are 19-32, the worst win percentage for a coach in our entire franchise. And then we are 2-1 in the playoffs. I don't know why. Anytime you get knocked out in here, it doesn't count the losses correctly in the playoffs. I'd like to get us to the Super Bowl week as well today. But I'd like to do the off season, I believe, still on Saturday, as I traditionally have been doing. And I think that Thursday we could do a little draft show here on the channel, and that would allow me to kind of get a great idea of what I want to do and then share everything with you, breaking down a bunch of players. But for sure, I am ready to get on to year 4 in this series. This was a long season. My goal going forward is to find this team a new quarterback, of course, and maybe add a playmaker, especially because both Bynes and Sexton are a little injury prone, it would be nice to bring in somebody else just in case, because if either one goes down, I think the offense looks very different when we're trying to throw. And we got to start thinking about what's after Derrick Henry, because he's about to turn 31. Defensively, a lot of reconstruction needed here as we switch to a 4-3 scheme, which will give us, a pretty good defensive line, including Terrell Riddick, Jeffrey Simmons, and Rashawn Gary. We'll find that next guy, though, who can be that nose tackle to complement everything. And then you've got to find starting linebackers, starting safeties. Otherwise, we're going to struggle against the run once again and give up a lot of passes over the middle. In 1981, the Baltimore Colts allowed 533 points. We are now the worst defense of all time by that measure. We played one more game than those Colts did, but 559 points allowed is a new NFL record. 29 sacks. That's not great. Interceptions, I feel like we're fine in that category. We were able to generate some turnovers. And then we had the league's worst run defense. According to my research, the worst run defense is the 1978 Bills, who allowed over 3,228. We weren't that bad, but we were the 5th lowest scoring team on offense this year. Turned the ball over far too much, which has been a running theme in this series. Worst on third downs, partially because we give up more sacks than anybody, and that leads to all kinds of third and longs and big mistakes. For turnover differential, I don't even want to see it. I don't know what it is. It is minus 19. We gave it away 45 times. Oh no, never again. All right, let's start to sim these playoffs out and see who is moving on to the AFC Championship. The Dolphins have defeated Buffalo and move on to face the Denver Broncos in the AFC, while the Cowboys and Bucks will square off in the NFC. It's the 5 and 7 seeds. 3-seed Rams are knocked out, and the 1-seed Giants beaten by 21. Shelton Cunningham was only 3rd for Pro Bowl voting. Oh, I guess this is a spoiler. He didn't go to the Super Bowl then. Yeah, I'm checking out the Pro Bowl roster. Derrick Henry did not make it. No receivers. Not even Sal. We didn't have a single Pro Bowler on the offensive side. I think defensively, I would expect us to have Fulton and maybe Farley. Farley makes it. No Fulton. We had one Pro Bowler and then Matt Gay. Our Super Bowl matchup will be the Broncos and the Buccaneers. The Dolphins were defeated 24-20. I thought maybe they'd go all the way. They've had this dream season with Shelton Cunningham, but their season is over. They kept it low scoring, did Denver, and that's necessary against these guys. You don't want to have to win a shootout. We'll advance to Super Bowl week and take a look at any development changes. Adam Kane is still at normal development. Derrick Henry drops to superstar instead of his X Factor that we're used to seeing. But Bynes is at star and Sexton is still at star, so no change here on the offensive side outside of Henry. And then on defense, Fulton has X Factor, Farley at superstar, Riddick is at superstar still. Farley just got this superstar dev for DB of the year. So we've got two excellent corners to try and build this defense around. Jeffrey Simmons here at star. Wow, John Barrett got to star. Okay, he racked up a lot of production, but like didn't even start the whole year. This star development really comes out of nowhere. I thought Barrett was bad. 77 tackles, 2 interceptions, 4 deflections. I just thought like he wasn't good in the running game whatsoever. And then just in the passing game, he wasn't like a playmaker or anything. But it looks like we have 2 star dev safeties at least going into next year, which is something. So our attention now can shift to the NFL draft, where we own the #1 pick. And then I plan on swapping out that first from Atlanta for their #2. That'll give us a few second-round picks to play with. I forget the total pick allotment we would have there, but you know, we have a decision to make. Are we going to take our quarterback right away at number 1, or are we tempted to take somebody else? There's Trayvon Randolph, the star receiver who looks like a potential generational talent. 6'6", 230 pounds, and he's got excellent athleticism. I mean, is this guy got a chance to be Calvin Johnson? Well, you also have to think about our opportunities here to build up the defense further. Maybe we don't need a corner very badly. Well, we could use one, but I don't think we'll take one at 1. And then there's Tim Bishop, another defensive lineman, if we want to work on just staying young there and bringing in high ceiling, high impact players. The quarterbacks that I like aren't projected to go until a little bit later. Joshua Holcomb, Brian Nava, and Kerry Farrell are all really good prospects. I have really favored Brian Nava to this point, but there's a lot to consider. And I think that going through the draft show will help me have a clearer picture of what I want to do in the offseason. How about all that award XP going to Shelton Cunningham? MVP, Rookie of the Year, QB of the Year, and passer rating leader. All of that is good for legacy and 44,000 experience. Shelton Cunningham currently, they have him as like an 80 overall. I forget what he was drafted at, but man, the future is so bright for him. We've got to find a way to get a quarterback that can help us out like that. And we also have these free agents to think about, and I think it'll be super easy. I don't think a single one of these players is going to be coming back. Most of them don't have any interest in coming back to begin with. But that is going to wrap up what we have here today. I'm ready for the off season to get underway. I'll look to stream that this weekend on Saturday. I will schedule that later in the week. Probably, though, 2 o'clock p.m. Central Time is my usual time slot. And then I'd like to do a draft show on Thursday. I don't plan on doing that live unless I'm really short on time. But I want to go through this draft class and go through the positions I think that are important and how we should attack things. But leave your feedback down below, and if you are getting some enjoyment out of this series despite the lack of winning, please leave a like. If you want to be part of this rebuild, hit that subscribe button. We've got a lot of work to do, and I'll see you all in the next episode here shortly. Have a great day.